Eclipses Mechanisms, Part 2. You are part of the cosmic body. Humans are the cells within the Creator God's body. It means that you are part of its manifestation. You are part of the cosmic God's feedback mechanism. And if you want to consciously play the part, then you have to understand how the cosmic body works. This is what this video is about. We spoke in part 1 of the nodal axis at the personal level. So, as a summary, this is the nodal axis in a chart. Generally, you see the North Node. It's represented like this headphone type of glyph. You trace a line and across at 180 degrees, you have the South Node. South Node represents your zone of comfort, skills, talents, past experiences, but eventually also where you are stuck into. Your mission, your life purpose is to go straight on the other side towards your North Node. The dragon head for you at the personal level is the indication of your blueprint, what you have to discover, what you have to aspire to, what you're supposed to do within the cosmic body to achieve your spiritual purpose. At the global level, an ongoing adjustment is taking place between light and darkness, spirit and matter, organization, and chaos in transition. Mankind has to exit the state of childish oblivion, egocentrism, the satisfaction of personal desires, to consciousness. We have to reach a level of information and willful participation in the cosmic plan. The eclipses are steps guiding your evolution within the boundaries of time, establishing cycles. We speak about unity, harmony, oneness with the cosmic mind. Well, the cosmic projects interact, create the material reality. Eclipses are the mechanisms of cleansing, regulation, integration. Remember, the sun and the moon are coming together. The nodal axis, which is our karmic highway, emerges from the crossing of the path, sun and moon, light and darkness, love and hate. At each eclipse, we need to make choices individually and as a group. When we follow consciously the movements of the group consciousness, we will be able to decipher what is going on in human history. And also, the exciting part, you might be able to find your place, your game in the collective stories that are played out at the international and global level. We spoke a lot about dragon head in the axis. So why dragon? What does the dragon has to do with us? Well, the cosmic body is a group made of a group of constellations. The cosmic body is the galactic body with a group of constellations as primary centers or chakras, just like we have chakras in the physical body. The Draco constellation happened to be a major player in the game of the cosmic man. The Drago constellation, as you can see on this map, is located all around the pole. It was even the center of attention a few thousand years ago, as Tuban, which is Alpha Draconis, was in fact our North Star. This was showed and remembered when the Great Pyramid in Giza was built, as one of the shafts, the one on the right here, points towards Draco and Tuban. As showed on this picture, you see the interaction and the positions of Great Bear, Little Dipper, and Draco, all parts of the manifestation of the heart-mind intelligence of our creator body, creator God, in manifestation. So the story of the lunar nodes, the dragon's head and tail. This is a fun story found in the Vedic mythology. It is the story, if you want to Google it, that is called the churning of the ocean. So the ocean represents the galactic material. It is also called the milk ocean, churning in French, barattage. When you want to make butter, you turn and turn and turn the milk, and beautiful butter is coming out, right? Well, so the story. There was a horrible war between gods and demons, devas and asuras, and the gods were weakened. They needed a shot of Amrita, the nectar of immortality. So they negotiated with Vishnu, and Vishnu explained that a cooperation between the demons and the gods would help to churn the galactic material or the ocean. So they put together a group of demons, gods. They used Mount Madura as a churning rod, and as the rope around the mount, they used Vasuki, the body of a huge serpent. He is the king of the serpents, or king of the Nagas. And he's considered to have 1,000 heads. So here represented in the airport, Bangkok, if I remember correctly. And so gods on one side, asuras on the other side, and they start the churning. The movement was so violent that it started to destabilize the mountain. To avoid Mount Mandara or Muru, according to some stories, to sink at the bottom of the ocean, Lord Vishnu had to intervene. So he took the form of a tortoise, Kuma, who took the entire weight of the mount and the churning on his back. This is supposed to be the story of the second avatar of Lord Vishnu. What is interesting here is to see how the two sides of creation are coming together, the gods and the demons. We have one of the main characters is Vasuki, the king of the Nagas. And as a interesting part of the story, Vasuki is the declared enemy or counterpart of Garuda, who is an eagle and the king of birds. So in the cosmic mythology, we always have coming together serpents and birds, gods and demons, serpents and birds. Another picture of the churning of the ocean. And we see here the gods and the demons coming together. So the first results of the churning was the creation of the coming up of a poison released through the mouth of the giant serpent, Azuki. And the poison had to be integrated and transmuted by a god. Another of the, then a lot of blessings were dispensed for humankind. One of them being the birth of Chandra, the goddess moon, as represented here. So it's an interesting part of the story. Was it the re-implementation of the two polarities? Chandra is coming out of the ocean at this point. So when finally all the blessings were dispensed and Amrita was created, everyone jumped and wanted to have some of it. So there was a fight immediately because, in fact, the gods had absolutely no inclination to share with the demons. So fight happening. Vishnu decided to intervene, and he took an illusory appearance. He appeared as a wonderful, beautiful woman, a goddess called Mohini. And she said, okay, I'm going to be the one distributing the elixir of immortality. And, but she was only feeding the gods. So one demon understood the story. And so he put himself between, he sat between the sun and the moon, and he tried to immediately access Amrita. When Vishnu Mohini realized what was going on, he immediately cut the head of the demon to avoid him to become a god. But Rahu had already got some of the Amrit. And so his head was kind of immortal, and his tail was still in the realm of the demons. And this is how the head and the tail of the dragon, the north and the south node, were created. Interesting story, isn't it? So we see here Mohini, Vishnu, cutting Rahu's head. Something interesting, you don't see, yes, the tool that she's using here happens to be connected to Vishnu. It is called the Sudarshana chakra. It's a wheel. And it is also called the wheel of time. So Vishnu is creating the two nodes, south and north nodes, dragon, head, and tail, when he uses the wheel of time. Some explains it as the ecliptic cutting the lunar orbit. So this is a very interesting concept. Food for thought. Vishnu using the wheel of time, cutting the lunar orbit, and creating, implementing the steps that we go through when there is an eclipse, the steps of slow merging, slow transmutation of light and darkness that we face constantly. Another way to look at the story is to look at Vasuka as the dragon, or to look at the reptilian part of the creation as a part of the dragon. The dragon within the cosmic body is the earth and later the cosmic kundalini. It is part of the dragon in an emanation of the Draco constellation is the earth and the cosmic kundalini. Kundalini rises around the axis at the personal level, around the Earth's axis, and also aligns the galactic body. As we have learned at the personal level, we have 3 nadis, 1 masculine, the sun, 1 feminine, the moon, and the job of the human spiritual seeker is to build the 2 meridians and then bring the energy to the center and rise the energy of Kundalini, or if your DNA is made for it, rise the Kundalini through the center nadi. So when you align yourself, not just energetically, but through choices in your life, choices with your spiritual path in mind, then slowly you bring the possibility of the serpent rising through your body and rising through the middle pillar. The involvement of the dragon as Earth Kundalini means that there is ongoing collaboration between the king of the serpents and the solar god. Let's go through that. I found an interesting concept in a website, Vedic Astrology. It says that the demon who in fact was attending the ceremony and tried to steal the Amrita was called Vishwabhagu, and Vishwabhagu would be the name of the North Star. So the whole story would have to do with the polar axis, the movement, the churning, the rotation, and the balancing of the polar axis of the Earth. I didn't find any other website or book to confirm this concept, but it's worth mentioning. Another part of another detail that we can add to that is that part of the global mythological concept, something that has animated the soul of humankind for centuries and is still going on in the church via the story of Jesus, is the story of the solar gods and the story of the taming of the dragons. Okay, the dragon has always been presented, and eventually his children, the reptilians, as the bad guy. And the bad guy has to be tamed by the solar god or by the hero. We see here Hercules as a child. He was considered a hero because he tamed the serpent as a baby, as a toddler. So in all the traditions, we find this common ground, the story of a hero or a solar god who is supposed to fight and tame a dragon. I included this picture because it makes me smile. I hope you will like it as much. This is an interesting capture. The the Egyptian representation of the solar gods, well, this is the sun, Horus, and he's represented on a horse. So the dragon in Egypt is most commonly represented as a crocodile. So the horse is on the top of the crocodile. And it's very interesting how similar that is to the pictures of St. George taming the dragon. Another representation here, Apollo fighting the Python. So in Greece, the solar god is Apollo, and the dragon is a gigantic subterranean beast. So what does it mean? What is the taming of the dragon? Well, the solar god is the consciousness animating the solar system. And this consciousness has to slowly organize itself to structure through Saturn, for instance, to give structure to its creation. So giving structure, organizing, putting together all this, the coming out of the material from chaos to an organized body, and a body that is going to be more and more evolved. This is the slaying of the dragon. After many, many centuries, we find the same colorful characters in the church. Now, this one is called a saint, sometimes an archangel, but often a saint, which is completely different. But the Archangel Michael, who is the solar archangel, is here represented with the same sword and taming the dragon. And when the tradition is lost a little more, the Archangel Michael, the solar character, is not anymore represented taming a dragon, but taming some kind of a diabolic human creature that is called Lucifer. Well, this is not the right interpretation. Michael is taming the dragon, not Lucifer. So, in the corner of our universe, the Creator God. In our case, we relate to the cosmic God at the galactic level, the solar God in the solar system. So the Creator God is an aspect of the infinite consciousness, Creator God, as of galactic consciousness. Is itself an aspect of the infinite consciousness, God with a capital G. It is the arm, the manifested body that is able to create. It is one of the seven pillars of creations, or the seven breaches. The Creator God is naturally God's champion. God is the merging of the light and the darkness. It is everything and all in one. But the mind is connected to the light. Therefore, the light or information organizes the chaos that is created, engendered at the beginning of creation. So in the cosmic body, the Creator God is representing the light. It is the dragon slayer. As for the Archangel Michael, he is the chief of the angel. Michael means like God. Michael is taming the dragon. Michael is taming the earth's Kundalini. It is interesting to see the similarity in those two pictures, Michael and Orion. Orion is one of the constellations that has important in the cosmic body. The process of creation, the dragon slaying, is happening between the head and the tail. The creator God is the God, the head. The lower part is the tail. So in fact, Michael and the dragon, or the solar god and the dragon, are one. In the same way that you individually are supposed to tame your lower self, your lower instincts. The god tames its lower part. The dragon is not just a chaotic demonic creature. It is the archangel's lower self that was sent or separated from the head by necessity when time was created. Creation involves time and cycles, then reassembling the parts after a number of cycles of experimentation and merging. We see here the solar god and the dragon coming together for the merging. So the dragon is the lower part of the creator God. It is its manifestation into matter. It is the feedback mechanism. The archangel tames the information soup in a state of chaos and put it together to reach perfection. The dragon is also the life giver. The dragon's energy runs through the ley lines, feeds the earthquakes when an alignment is necessary, but is also the base of the human DNA. We still have what is called a reptilian brain. So our duty is to integrate this dragon reptilian energy within ourselves. It is to stop being in denial, accept awareness of our connection with the reptilians, understand the identity of the dragon as a part of the creator God itself. When we recognize humankind's origin, it is easier to follow the process. An eclipse is an alignment between the two sides of the creator, the solar self and the lower self, whose lowest emanation at our human level is the moon, the goddess of the night, connected to the Earth Mother, as we stated in presentation number 1. So when all the parts are coming together, we will be able to create within ourselves the rectified access. We will be able to raise our own Kundalini or Kundalini energy. This is a representation of the dragon as the access or tele, as named by the Kabbalists. Actually, the picture on the left side is from the mythology of Norway. So in the present situation, the solar god, or the consciousness that is now known under the name of the Archangel Michael, is the one anchoring the light, leading the ascension process, and bringing the codes that are necessary for the transformation of the earth and of mankind. This is explained in the video on the front of the website what is the New Jerusalem. Be blessed.